Fire hydrants are so common that most of us barely notice them. They quietly stand on street corners, painted in bright colors, and waiting for the day they're needed most. But have you ever wondered why these life-saving devices are almost always made of cast iron? After all, we live in an age of stainless steel, lightweight aluminum, and high-strength plastics. So why has a material that's been around for centuries remained the standard? As it turns out, the answer is a fascinating mix of engineering, economics, and history. Let's take a closer look at why cast iron has earned its place beneath the paint. Right here, on History of Simple Things. Before fire hydrants became common, cities relied on buckets, wells, rivers, and wooden water pipes to fight fires. In the early 1800s, growing cities began installing pressurized water systems, creating the need for fixed outlets where firefighters could quickly connect hoses. Early hydrants varied widely in design, but as municipal water networks expanded throughout the 19th century, manufacturers needed a material that was durable, affordable, and easy to produce in large numbers. Cast iron quickly emerged as the leading choice. By the late 1800s, it had become the standard material for hydrant bodies across much of Europe and North America, and that decision has largely remained unchanged ever since. A fire hydrant has one job: work perfectly when everything else is going wrong. During a fire, firefighters can't afford equipment failure. Hydrants spend decades outdoors, exposed to rain, road salt, blazing sunshine, freezing temperatures, and constant moisture from the ground. Cast iron handles these conditions remarkably well, because it is incredibly strong in compression and resists gradual wear. While it can eventually rust on the surface, the corrosion usually develops slowly enough that hydrants remain structurally sound for many decades when properly maintained. Many hydrants installed in the mid-20th century are still in service today. At first glance, steel might seem like the obvious upgrade. After all, steel is stronger than cast iron in many situations. However, strength isn't the only factor engineers consider. Cast iron is much easier and cheaper to manufacture into complex shapes. Hydrant bodies contain thick walls, internal chambers, threaded openings, and mounting points that are ideally suited for casting. Molten cast iron flows easily into molds, producing these intricate shapes in a single casting with minimal machining afterward. Steel can certainly be cast too, but doing so generally costs more and requires additional processing. Since municipalities purchase thousands of hydrants, those savings add up significantly. One surprising benefit of cast iron is its sheer weight. A typical fire hydrant can weigh well over 100 kilograms or more than 220 pounds. That may sound inconvenient, but the extra mass helps keep the hydrant firmly anchored underground. Fire hoses connected to a hydrant carry water at high pressure, generating substantial forces that could shift lighter equipment. The heavy cast iron body provides stability and reduces vibration during operation. Its weight also discourages theft and accidental movement during roadwork or landscaping. Fire hydrants experience more punishment than most people realize. Cars occasionally back into them, lawn equipment strikes them, snow plows scrape against them, and maintenance crews open and close them countless times over the years. Cast iron's thick walls absorb impacts better than many thinner materials. Although cast iron is relatively brittle compared with steel, hydrants are engineered with generous wall thicknesses that help distribute loads. Modern hydrants also include specially designed breakaway flanges near the base. If struck hard by a vehicle, the upper portion breaks away while the underground valve remains closed, preventing thousands of liters of water from flooding the street. Today's fire hydrants aren't made entirely from traditional cast iron alone. Many manufacturers now use ductile iron, a modern form of cast iron that contains tiny graphite nodules instead of flakes. This gives the material much greater toughness and impact resistance, while preserving the excellent casting properties that made cast iron popular in the first place. Internal components such as stems, bolts, and valves are often made from stainless steel or bronze to resist corrosion, while durable powder-coated paint protects the exterior. In other words, the hydrant has evolved over time, but its cast iron foundation remains because it still performs exceptionally well. You may have noticed that fire hydrants aren't always painted the same color, and that's often intentional. In many countries, particularly in North America, the color of the hydrant's bonnet or top indicates its available water flow, allowing firefighters to quickly identify which hydrant can supply the most water during an emergency. Blue typically represents the highest flow, followed by green, orange, and red for lower capacities. However, color standards can vary from one municipality to another. Some cities use different colors to indicate ownership, maintenance schedules, or special local requirements. No matter the color, the goal is the same: to help emergency crews locate the right hydrant as quickly as possible when every second counts. So, why are fire hydrants made of cast iron? The answer comes down to a combination of durability, cost, manufacturability, and reliability. Cast iron can be cast into complex shapes, withstand decades of harsh weather, support high water pressures, and remain dependable with relatively little maintenance. Even though newer materials exist, few can match its balance of performance and affordability for this specific job. Sometimes the best engineering solution isn't the newest technology. It's the one that has already proven itself over generations. The next time you pass a fire hydrant on the sidewalk, you'll know you're looking at more than just a bright red post. You're looking at over a century of practical engineering that continues to help protect lives and property every single day. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.